Hey guys, welcome back. I am working on the pickup truck right now, and I'm waiting for body filler to dry, so I'm making use of my time rather than sitting around playing on the phone trying to find something else to buy, because I don't need to buy any more games, guys. I really don't. So I pulled the chassis out of the Space Encounters because I want to recap it and change this guy right here, this big capacitor right here. So it's not a big cap job by any means, but it's just this and these guys here, and that's pretty much it. But I want to pull this apart because I'd like to clean this frame and everything, because it's pretty nasty. So I wanted to do a little video on pulling it apart because I could use the references for putting it back together, if that makes sense. So what we have here is the main board. Now I don't know if I can actually fully take it apart. I don't think I can, because all my wires are soldered on down here on each side. Is that right, or is that normal or not normal? I don't know. I don't know if these originally had plugs and somebody changed them. I don't think so. I think it's probably all been soldered on. But it'd be nice to clean this frame up. It's disgusting. But I don't know that I'm going to be able to the more I look at it, without getting into some major desoldering and resoldering and a bunch of pictures. I'm looking. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I think I'm just going to wash it together, and then just have to touch it up the best I can. So I'm gonna see if I can get this box off of here, this cardboard box. At least get this out of here so we don't ruin that with the water. Jesus, that thing is on there. At least that's out of the way. There is another piece of cardboard, but unfortunately it is sandwiched underneath a riveted piece of metal, so that's really not going to do me any good. So I guess I'll get all these stickers are probably going to get destroyed. Oh, you know what? The writing is literally rubbing right off of the sticker to where you can't even read it instantly. That's how corroded this thing is. Well, I guess I'll grab some Simple Green and a paintbrush and scrub all this nasty dirt out of here. There's literally clumps of dirt between the resistors and stuff, and you want to get all that stuff out of there, you know, because these produce heat, and then it's just going to make components even hotter when you have gunk like that piled up next to resistors, you know, stuff that gets warm. So I'm going to grab the Simple Green and a paintbrush. All right, I'm going to scrub it in the sink here. And then, once I rinse it and let it sit in here for a little bit, I'll put it outside in the sun for the day and let it dry before I cap it. Hopefully I can get to all the caps and everything without having to remove the circuit board. Oh, that stuff stinks. Because if I have to remove the circuit board, I have to unsolder a bunch of wires. Well, that stuff gets to you in here. So basically, I'm just going to take this little paintbrush and get between every component. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like after we get it all rinsed off. All right, I'll be back. Look at the difference, guys. You saw what it looked like before. We got all that gunk and crap off of there. That sticker completely fell off. I think we can doctor this up. We can do a little taping off, a little spray paint, and not have to take it apart. So I'm going to put this out in the sun now and let it dry. Okay, I want to finish up on this chassis. I washed it this morning. I want to recap it and change this big capacitor here, and then hook it back up and hook the new power supply up and see if we get any life out of this game. And then I'm going to be working on Spy Hunter the rest of the day. But I figured since I washed this morning and it's dry, that might as well just go ahead and see if we can get any life out of this cabinet. I'm really curious. Now, if you're wondering how do I know where these go back onto the yoke, they're actually labeled. There's actually a yellow dot where the white goes, and there's a red dot where the red goes, a green dot where the green goes, and a black. So for some reason, there's a yellow dot where the white wire went. I don't know why it was like that, but so we're going to change out these capacitors, which there are only a few. If I can open it. And probably don't have a pen. Now this came from Arcade Shop along with this guy right here that replaces that. I don't know that Arcade Parts and Repair sells that, so I ordered it from Arcade Shop. I did not see it on their site. Guess I got to grab a pen because there's not one in here, just so I can mark off my list as I go. I have never messed with one of these monitors before. I mean, it's pretty much, for the most part, like everything else, but definitely never messed with one of these big caps. So it's actually labeled on the front and back. I wonder if I can dig. No, I can't. Can I? I don't know if these boards, I don't think it comes off because these pins go through. Yeah, it doesn't. I'm going to leave it on and see if I can't get to it all. I can't get to that one though. I have to lift it up. I don't know. I never messed with one of these. Definitely different. Guess we're going to find out what's going on here. Oh, you know what? They slide out. Uh-huh. So you spin that one. You spin this guy. Maybe. And then you got to gently squeeze these ones in. Feels like something in the middle's holding. Oh, there's one right here. They really fasten this guy down. Okay, so why is it right here? Feels like something's holding it. It's just the pins themselves. I didn't realize this slid off when I had it outside. Didn't really look at it closely enough, I guess you'd say. Tell you what, these pins are attached really well. Trying to carefully lift up on it. Don't want to break the circuit board. So the good thing is that if we test this and it ends up working, I'll be able to take this apart in order to paint it. So that is good to know. That is awesome. Now I'll be able to fix the rust and stuff. So yeah, you learn something new every day. All right, here's my capacitors. I think I already lost one. I'm pretty sure I lost one. So I got that going for me. Worry about that after. Just find the first one and knock it out. C206. .206, 150, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this in high speed, and we'll get these knocked out, and then I'll come back and we'll do that other big capacitor regular. Okay, some of those capacitors were swelled up, so good thing that I replaced them. The only thing I'm a little leery about is this guy right here. That was a 220 100 volt, and they told me to replace it with a 330 100 volt, which I find that weird because I thought your UFs always needed to be the same. I don't know if there's a reason for that or not, but I did what the kit said. All right, and we have one extra capacitor. It's supposed to go in 111 or something like that, and there is no 111. And it doesn't show it on the picture either. So I don't know if that's because this rebuild kit's for a couple different chassis. So maybe it's on one of the other chassis has that capacitor and this one doesn't. So now I got to see how this guy comes off. Once again, never done this before. So I have no idea how this is fastened on. Looks like there's two areas that have tabs that are soldered. I don't know if you have to turn the tabs once you unsolder them. Kind of looks like that. This might be a pain in the ass to get off, actually. Sure is not a lot of room, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm sure there's probably a smarter way to do this. Yeah, a lot of solder on this guy. Desoldering gun doesn't even want to heat it up. Man, there is a enormous puddle of solder holding this tab on here. I think I might have got one side. No, man, there's 4 tabs holding it on. Holy crap. All right, well, I'm going to fight with this, and then once I get the tabs off, well, maybe I can get them. What if I break it off? Guess they didn't want this thing to move. All right, I'm gonna fight to get that off and then I'll be back. Okay, so I was able to, it was like corroded on there. So I have to write down what is what, because there is symbols on the side of this canister, and it says 800 UF 125. It's a half circle, so 800 UF 125 is a half of a circle. The half of the circle on the bottom of this is try to see here. This thing is so corroded, it's bad. It is bad, bad. No wonder why it didn't work. I can't see the damn backside of this thing. Okay, so the triangle shape is green. So triangle is green. Square is gray. Half circle, oh wait, yeah, square is gray. Jesus. Half circle is red. Okay, so now half circle is 800 UF 125. The square is 200 UF 100. 200 UF 100. The triangle is 200 UF 50. 200 UF 50. And then the one that is not marked is the black, see here, gray, green, red, brown. So the brown is 20 UF 200. 20 UF 200. Now I'm going to look on Arcade Shop's website real quick and do the comparison. Okay, so what we have is the half circle originally was a 800 UF 125. Okay, that's the red wire. And that gets changed to an 820 UF 160 volt. Okay, then the second one, this order doesn't matter. The second one is a 200 UF 50. And that's the triangle, which is the green wire, and it's getting converted to a 220 UF 50. Next one down is a 200 UF 100 volt. That's the square, which is a gray wire, and that is getting changed to a 220 UF 100 volt. And then the last one that doesn't have a symbol is a 20 UF 200, and it's the brown wire, and that's getting converted to a 22 UF 250. So what we have to do is all 4 pins on the outside are negative. All 4 pins in the center are positive. So we need to basically just look at each capacitor and determine this is a 220 100 UF. So we'll come over here and we'll go 220 100 UF gray wire. So we know that the gray wire hooks up to this one and so on. So now I got to get the rest of this guy off, because it is a freaking disaster. I think I might be better off cutting the damn wires right at the filter cap. was able to cut the red wire, but looks like the other two have this, I don't know if it's a capacitor or what it is, a resistor. Look at this thing. It literally was peeling apart as I was trying to pull it out. It was that messed up. It's just all corroded and green shit coming out of it and rust. So now we got that disconnected and we know the wire colors. We're going to shove those wires into there. And I need to get these tabs out, because if I don't have those tabs out, I can't put the new one in. Hopefully I can get these tabs out now that they're broke off. So this one might be loose. It's one. Last one sucks because it has a bunch of it has two diodes hooked up to it. And a little capacitor. Not fast enough. Okay. All right. I think that's where the brown one goes. So the green and gray are still hooked up with a bunch of other solder. I think what I'm going to do is cut this leg off, leave it connected, and just solder it on. So the gray wire is 220/100. So let's find a 220/100 right here. And I know that my gray wire kind of bent those legs over to hold it. Okay. 220/100 is right here. That's where my gray one goes. Okay. Now this leg right here is a 22/250, and that's the brown wire. Okay, the biggest one is a 820/160, and that would be the red wire. Okay, we'll just verify the last one. You know, yeah, it's the red one. And the last one right here is 220/50. Just verify that one is the green wire. Yes. Now what you have to really watch for is that nothing is touching each other. You gotta make sure your negative lead is not going to be touching your green lead, for instance, on this one, which it almost is. Okay, so now we have this one negative that these diodes attached to. They literally just have shit wrapped around each other. It's like a big mess. Okay. Now verify that nothing's touching each other. Goes from there to there. Separate those two. I just shortened up the post a little bit and bent one over. I just don't want it close to anything else. Okay, I believe we're not touching anywhere. All right. All right, let's head out there, hook this back up, and hook the new power supply up and see if we get any sort of action out of this thing. Okay, I'm going to get the chassis back on, and then we're going to put that new power supply in and see if we have anything happen. Now, this chassis was bolted in like this, and it stuck out that far. I'm actually going to fit it in like this, because you can do it that way. I don't understand why it was out so far unless somebody had it out, but as long as the wires are long enough, I'd rather have it go in farther. Because then I don't have a back door for this game. I'm gonna have to make a back door, okay? So we're gonna have to make a bump out where the tube goes. But I think it's smarter to have only the tube area have to be bumped out rather than where the chassis goes as well. It's just a smaller area then. And of course I can't do this. There we go. Okay, I'm not going to bolt it down because I'm going to take this game apart anyways. Okay, there's our anode cut. And we have our 4 wires here. And they are labeled with a dot. We got green, black. Wires might not be long enough. And that could be one of the reasons. Which we can always lengthen these wires. Yep, we're gonna have to lengthen these wires to do it the way I want to do it. But for now, we'll just pull it up. But yeah, there's no reason why this chassis can't be sunk in farther. Unless for some reason it's causing interference or something, which I don't think so. So it was hanging out that far originally. I don't want it to do that. I'll bet you it's done like that because the wires weren't long enough. We'll fix that. Okay, I'm gonna hook my ground wire back up. I don't know how important it is, but we probably should. Going to hand tighten it just so that it's making contact. Now, if you remember when I picked this up, these prongs were bent and part of the plastic was missing. So what I did today before I took it apart was I put a little black dot with a Sharpie right here and a little black dot with a Sharpie right here and on the tube. So now I have a reference point on where it goes. So now I want to see if this powers on, which it was powering on before, but we were getting nothing on the screen. So I want to see if we actually get anything on the screen before we plug the game board in. But first I have to at least hook up the power wire. So hold on one second. Okay, so for now, we're just going to hillbilly it together. I'm not going to go putting fancy ends on the wires or anything like that right now. We merely just want to try this and what the heck's going on here. Okay. So first thing I need to do is take this little board here and attach it to the power supply. These, I don't mind hanging off the edge here, okay? But the big ones, the MCR ones, I won't do that. I will solder wires to these and then hook them to here. And I still might do that with this game too. I'm not sure yet. But you have to make sure you put this in the right direction. So if you look closely, it says 12 volts, -5, ground, 5 volts. So it can go this way, right here, 12 volts, negative, ground, ground 5. Now, if you screw up and you put it this way, well, now you just sent 12 volts to your 5-volt line, and you've probably really screwed something up at that point. So that is something you got to make sure that you pay attention to. And I really despise these design of these boards. And you know what's funny is I talked about it a while ago, and Arcade Shop or Arcade Parts and Repair are making a MCR adapter board. And I had talked about doing this, and there's actually a slot in it, which is a bright idea. All these should have slots down the center so that when you slide this in, it could physically go all the way through rather than just the very edge hitting it. Slide it all the way through. Now you've got a contact point around 3 edges. You know, right now when you slide this in, you have a little bit connecting the board. It's actually 2 contacts because the bottom as well, but still, that's crap. That should go in farther. I don't like that. And it would cost nothing to do that on the boards, to design them to be like that. I mean, why would it cost you any more? You know what I mean? You're getting the boards printed anyways. Okay, so we have that hooked up. Good enough for now. Now we got to hook up our wire. All right, so we got a cord here we're going to use. And we're not putting ends on this right now, guys. We're going to hillbilly it as if you just picked up this cabinet from an operator, because that's about what they did. They just freaking shoved wires in. Oh, that's good enough. That'll be fine. Not my house if it burns down. Not my arcade. All right. I'm sure hoping we get something out of this. I hope something happens. Okay. If you're doing this to test, make sure none of your strands of wires are going to the ground. Make sure they're not touching each other. Very important. All right, so I want to power this up with the game board turned off, unplugged. Okay. We also have to check, I want to check the 5 volts before we plug the game board in, because we don't want to send too much voltage to the board if that dial is off by some reason. So let's plug, I'm going to go grab my multimeter, and then we're going to plug it in. Okay, let's plug it in and let's check the monitor first. Monitor did not power on. Why? Why did the monitor not power on? There should really be no reason why it didn't power on. What'd I screw up? We'll check the fuse on the bottom of the cabinet too. That one's good. It's a 1.5 amp, and then the other one next to it's a 0.75. I don't even think I have a 0.75. I probably have to put a 1 amp in there. They both look fine. Yep, they're both fine. Okay, that's plugged in. What am I missing here? You got the fuse down here. Oh, just check it in the fuse holder first. I got a bad fuse holder. Got a fuse holder that's all bent and broken. So hopefully I can kind of manipulate it to touch. I don't know. Oh, my switch is off. There we go. Now I hear some high-pitched noise. Come on, get some static on the screen, something. Nothing. Hold, brightness, contrast. Anything? Nothing. Interesting. We have neck glow. All right, well, let's check the 5 volts and turn that on. I thought for sure you'd get static on the screen just like any other monitor. I mean, I don't know. Maybe something else is wrong in the monitor chassis. I'm not sure. I don't know yet. Something smells a little funny. That could just be because I cleaned it. I'm not sure. I don't know. 5.1. Oh, that's still powered on. That's okay, the cabinet's off though. All right, so now we can turn the cabinet on. Let's see if we can coin it up or see if we get any noises or anything out of the circuit board. Circuit board's probably screwed. Dead. Nothing. No noises, no nothing. This button's stuck in. Yeah, button's really screwed there. Yep, we're not getting any coin up noises, nothing. Just kind of hoping that would do something. All right, give me a minute here. Okay, I popped the game board out. I don't want to spend too much time on this today because I want to get on to the Spy Hunter. But all these chips look pretty bad. All the legs are black. Bad, bad. Now, I did get it to, it was starting to make a noise, and it sounded like it would fire, and then fire again, and then fire again. And that, to me, would sound like the, because that, the fire button is jammed down. Look at how bad these legs are. So I think I'm gonna get a real fine piece of sandpaper. Piece of 600 grit. The sockets don't look very good either, so this is probably not gonna do much. Man, that does not sound good. I mean, they are coming clean. Here's a before and then after. If the camera focused. All these sockets are going to need to be replaced. That might just be something that I end up having to do. I'm not sure what's wrong with the monitor yet. Well, chip leg just busted. So rusty that it just broke. Just gonna leave that loose like that. Now it looks like there's a little nub left, so maybe I can stick a capacitor leg in there. Another weak leg. That one's about to bust off right there too. It's the same last pin as that one. It's still on there. I'll probably just put a little solder on it. But you can hear these things when they come out, how corroded they are. This is just some 600 grit sandpaper. It almost looks burned up. Anything that's non-socketed, the funny thing is there's no corrosion on any of the legs. So I wonder if these sockets are just so fucked up that it's, you know, causing a heating issue. Maybe they're heating up or something because it's poor contact. I mean, chances of this doing anything when I put it back together, probably slim to none. Those sockets probably all need replaced, for starters. God knows how many of these chips even work. I didn't pay attention to which way this was. So now I'm gonna have to go back on my video probably and look. Thought it had a notch, like all the other ones had a notch. But this one doesn't have a notch. I think it goes that way. I'm gonna say it probably goes this way. Usually the writing all goes the same. But you can't count on that. So I'll just have to look at my video and see which way that one goes. I'm gonna grab my solder gun and I'm gonna solder a leg onto that. And then let's pop this connector apart here. Is this supposed to have a chip in there? I don't remember. I know that I saw, I think that one was empty when I looked it up in the book. That actually looks pretty good. Sometimes just plugging and unplugging it makes a difference. I'm just gonna leave these screws out for now, they're all rusted. All right, let me find a capacitor leg and look at my video and see which way that Z80 went. Okay, according to my video, it goes the same direction as all these. So I have a capacitor leg right here. I'm actually going to stick it into the socket. Or if I can get all these chips new, probably be smart to replace them. With the sockets. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that to stick. Well, it looks like I got some solder to stick to it. I think. Nope. Sucks when they break flush like that. If you have part of it hanging out, it's definitely a lot easier. I got it. It is attached. There was another loose one right here, but it's not broke off. I'm just gonna leave it for now. I highly doubt this is gonna do anything different, but we'll just try it real quick and then we'll end this video. If I can just make it, you know, make noises, something. I was wiggling these wires before that I'm just plugging in, and the coin counter was moving. Which to me seems like it would be crediting up then. For now, I'm just gonna leave the monitor unplugged. I just heard the coin counter go. Click. You can lightly hear the sound again, doing the same thing. You listen real closely here. And that sounds like the fire button. And the fire button's stuck down. I got the volume to work better. All the edge pins are corroded and they need to be replaced. I'm gonna see if I can't find the fire button wires. Hear that? That to me sounds like this is just stuck down. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna end this video. I'll probably just end up tearing this thing apart, fixing the cabinet and getting everything cleaned up and ready to go, and then figure out the PCB and the monitor after the cabinet's fixed, because it's probably gonna take some doing. I'm not sure if I'm gonna send the PCB out or what. Like I said, I don't have ways of testing it. I don't have test equipment and stuff like that. So it's probably in my best interest to just send it to somebody that can just do it for me. I'll send them the soundboard and the main PCB. And then what I'll do is figure out what's going on with the monitor. We do have neck glow, but I'll talk to Jason about that and ask him what he thinks it is. But all these are gonna need to be repinned. They're all screwed up. Every single one, we're gonna have to repin them. The plug itself is okay. We just gotta take one wire out at a time, cut the pin off, pin a new one on, slide it back on, then we can clean all this edge connectors up as well. This one's really flaky as well. So I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Go ahead and tear this thing apart. I can get the cabinet fixed. I can repin the harness and get everything ready. And I'm just gonna send the boards out to somebody, and then I'll figure out the monitor. We can always use a test monitor by me taking a regular arcade monitor and hooking it up. I mean, I could always do that. That is an option. But for now, I think that's just gonna be the best bet, because I don't wanna move this thing around any more than I have to. Look, I mean, there is nothing left of it. And if I just keep moving it around, shoving it around, I'm gonna end up busting it to the point where I'm not really gonna be able to do much with it, because I need this here. I need to duplicate that. All right, so I need to trace that now before, as you can see, look at this. It ain't got much left in it. one or two good kicks and that corner is going to be off, and there is none on the other side. So we're going to end up probably cutting this thing about here and putting a whole new bottom on. The front, I'm going to try to keep it below the artwork, these little stars and spots. I'm going to try to keep it below the artwork, cut it there. Before I cut it, obviously, I'm going to take measurements from here to the bottom of the cabinet. Then I'll know where the yellow stops. Hey, I get to touch up my favorite color, yellow. Yay! We'll probably spray paint, or we'll probably use automotive paint for the yellow and stuff like that. We'll tape off the cabinet and shoot the yellow spots. We'll probably end up painting it out here because I want to do a nice job on it. I know the game's fixable. Whatever's wrong with the PCB, I'll get it fixed. I mean, it's all there. It's not like it's destroyed. I'm going to bet, for starters, the sockets are all shot that those chips are going into. And these boards are a little bit harder to change sockets on than some. So, like I said, some of those chips probably need to be replaced, especially because the legs are really loose. They're busting off. And once again, I have no way of making those chips. I don't have a chip burner or anything like that. So it really needs to go to somebody that can do that stuff for me. So yeah, I think I'm just going to take care of the cosmetic part of it, send the boards out. I'll fix the wiring harness and I'll fix the monitor, and we should be good to go at that point. We got to make a back door as well. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end this video. I'm going to upload it, and then I'm going to get working on this Spy Hunter. It's actually like 4 o'clock in the afternoon because the truck took me a little longer today, but it is all primered. I finished the body work on the doors that I didn't like. So hopefully once I sand them down, it'll look a lot better and I can get them repainted. If I don't like the way it looks after I sand the primer down in a few days, I'll primer it a second time, but it's getting there. So I'll see you guys later on tonight with the Spy Hunter video. Like I said earlier, it's gonna be a late video. So thanks for watching, guys. See you later.